Hey, all you cool printers and plotters. It's Larry here from Axsa. Today we're going to show you the basic operation of the front panel of a PageWide XL printer. So right now what we're looking at is the home screen. This is where your screen will usually be. The first thing you see is the indicator light. This is mostly white with a little bit of orange, which means there is some attention that needs to be paid to our plotter, although it will not prevent it from printing. There's a couple yellow triangles right here. We pull this down, it tells us what it is that we need to do. And see, these are some of the consumables that will need to be changed on our printer in the near future, on our plotter in the near future. What we're looking at here are the four basic functions of this PageWide model. Print from a USB, which the port is right here. You can scan, copy, and then you can reprint out of the job queue. What we're going to look at first is just the job queue. Inside here, the machine has a certain amount of memory, and the PageWide remembers everything that was scanned to it or printed on it up till it runs out of memory. When it does, it drops off the bottom and accepts the next one. And so there's constantly a number of jobs that are in this machine. So if you were to print something on one day and you need to reprint it a few days later, you would be able to find that job, call it up, and then reprint it on this machine. And the same thing with scanning. If you scanned something here a few days ago, you could go back in and find your scan to reprint or whatever it is that you needed to do. There's a thumbnail here that kind of helps you determine which job it is that you're looking for. Next, we're going to look at the copy and scan. Both very similar. Obviously, you don't need to make copies when you scan, and you may not need to keep it when you copy. So a little bit different, but generally the same. Going into the scanning first, you'll notice that it gives you four options again. USB drive. You can scan directly onto that USB drive that we talked about. HP SmartStream folder. This is only good for folks that actually have the SmartStream software, and we're not going to talk about that today. Email, although this has email, we never set up scan to email. It's actually possible to scan a file so large that you can't even email it to yourself. So we always set it up to scan to a network folder.
But not today.
But not today. What we're going to look at is the copy feature. As I said, this is similar to the scanning feature in that it gives you some presets. These presets are, you have a black and white image that you want to scan or copy. You have a color image that you want to scan or copy, a color line drawing, architectural, engineering, construction type line drawing. Mixed content would be more of a map, something with a little bit of detail in it, a little bit of graphics, and a lot of text. And then an image, of course, would be a full-blown picture of something. In the copy feature, we are just going to make a black and white or color copy. We have the contrast, if we need to make it lighter and darker, but it does have automatic contrast control, and so that usually is not needed in today's files. Over here, we're just indicating how many copies we need to make, changing a number to what we need, and then the last thing is that, or the last two is the collate, on or off. The difference being if you have a set of drawings, for instance 3 drawings, and you need to make 2 copies, you want it to be page 1, page 2, page 3, page 1, page 2, page 3, as opposed to collating it, which would be page 1, page 1, page 2, page 2, page 3, page 3. Typically, scanning in sets is preferable. The last thing is the page order, is the order that the sheets are going to come out. And you have a difference between first page on top or last page on top. And it really just is a matter of which machine you're using, and if you decide to make your copies from front to back or back to front. As you know, with any large format document, large format equipment, you have to scan page by page. So you have to choose to start at the back of the set or to start with the first page of the set. And then the indicator of which way your copies is going to come out is based on you choosing that option. For our purposes today, we only have 2 pages, and we want page 1, page 2 to come out for 2 different sets. So we're just going to go ahead with the first page on top, and we're going to scan, and we're going to make copies of these 2 pages right here. So we're going to go ahead and tell it to scan, to make a copy of this in color. We're going to make 2 copies, and we're going to tell it to go ahead and copy. The panel gives you instructions on how to do it, but I'm going to show you in a little more detail over here. Here's the front plate that you can put your scan in on, and this is the actual scanner. There are times when folks will try their best to use this this plate and push their scan in, or their original in, but sometimes that can cause wrinkles. I find it best to hold a little bit further back in your sheet and allow gravity to pull the sheet in flat. As you can see, it pulled it in a little bit, straightened it, pulled it back out. The first one is finished, and as you can see, it won't come out of the machine until we put the second one on. Although, on the panel, if you want to deal with this page now, you can have the machine remove it by doing the release page function. The page still doesn't fall on the floor, but it can easily be pulled out of the machine to be dealt with. Here's our second page, same thing. Same thing over here. I'm going to release that page so I can pull it out of the machine. And I did neglect to mention that there is a thumbnail of that page on there so you can see that it did scan properly and it's in the correct orientation. We're finished. Second page is in there as well. And then we're finished. We got our 2 pages to make the 2 copies. We're going to finish and print. Next, the machine will go ahead and print those 2 copies for us.